do it differently.
Let's change one thing and try again.
Dust yourself off and try again. Try again. Shout out to Aaliyah. I couldn't wait and hold that. I couldn't hold the quote to the end of the episode. Welcome, y'all, to the Willamette Block Party, where we are here to highlight all things Black within the Willamette Valley. I am xInYaFaceDotCom, and I'm here with my illustrious co-host,
Allie Saunders.
Gang. And I'm gonna hand it off to Allie to introduce our host, our guest, our very, very, very first guest.
Yes.
No pressure, don't mess up. To the pod. But before we do that, we just wanted to shout out our third, partner who's not here.
Oh,
Ray.
Ray.
He's probably taking care of his kids or whatever. Cool.
We miss you, Ray.
Some people have priorities and some people have kids, but whatever.
I was expecting you to be here, by the way.
Oh, right in the camera. Okay, so you already heard the voice of our guest. Allie, you want to?
Absolutely, do the intro. I would like to introduce Sarah Arbuckle. She, again, is our first guest, our very, very first one. So I hope you're as excited as we are. We just want to kind of ask you a couple of questions. We know you're chief of staff for a state representative. Would you like to kind of tell us a little bit more about that, kind of some of the specifics that you do, and a little roundabout of you?
Thank you so much both for having me on this podcast. We miss you, Ray. And as chief of staff for State Representative Hòa Nguyễn of House District 48, I manage staff, I manage her policies. House District 48 is Southeast Portland, North Clackamas, so a little bit of Damascus, Boring, Sandy. So it's not really close here to Salem. So even getting to learn like the neighborhood and the demographics of the people in that area that we serve is really cool. Rep Nguyễn is a Clackamas educator, and she's on a David Douglas School Board, and she's a Vietnamese refugee. She was the first child to be brought over here by her parents, and she just has like a lot of values and core beliefs that I share as well. And you don't always get that working as a chief of staff or state representative. Sometimes you and your rep don't align, but I found that I really share a lot of like the similar goals as Rep Nguyễn does. So.
Nice. Okay. How long have you been doing it for?
So in 2023, I was her legislative aide, which is kind of like a lower position, but there's always a chief of staff and an LA or legislative aide in the building or in the office. And I did that for 5 months, and then I went back to the Department of Education to work on the foster care and McKinney-Vento programs. And then in just December of last year, she asked, she was without a chief of staff, and she gave me a call and asked me to come back. And I said yes.
Yes, hanging up the mantle. Yeah. Well, it's always just great to see a woman of color just like in those positions, making change happen. So thank you for what you do. I know it's definitely a hard position, and kind of being, especially kind of the political climate nowadays and all of that stuff, just being in the kind of that area. I know it could be probably a little rough, especially what's going on now. So
yeah, I'm definitely, I think, one of few female chiefs of staff, one of few chiefs of staff of color at all. There's not a lot of people of color in that building. We like to say that building was not made for us, and the fact that we are there is making change. We're standing on the shoulders of our ancestors, if you will, and even though it is hard, and even if I feel like I'm not making a lot of, touch the mic, even if I feel like I'm not making a lot of progress, I feel like by representation or by just like being there, somebody else, some youth might see us and be like, okay, I can do that. I'm gonna be there.
Yeah. Oh, that's so exciting.
It is making an impact. Like, let me be someone who's on the outside for you to say and echo to you, because sometimes it's hard for you to see the impact of the things that you do. And so I want to just shout you out for the fact that you are there doing the work, doing the stuff in your arena.
Thank you.
And we value you for doing it, right? Yeah. And the kids got somebody to look up to.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess my question for you would be like, did you have an idea that this is the path that you would be on, like early on? Like, did you start early and say, okay, this is kind of where I'm heading? And then the second part of that would be, where do you go from here?
Absolutely not, actually. I did not think I was going to be here. Yeah. I started in local government in LA, working for a consulting firm, and I worked with a lot of public works agencies, local and city and county agencies across the nation, really, improving systems, finding opportunities for improvement. And when I turned 30, I moved up here to Oregon. In my hometown in Hermosa Beach, really, it's very gentrified. So my house that my parents raised us in, it was like $300,000 when they bought it. It's like $12 million now. So I realized that I probably would not be able to buy a home there, and moved here to Oregon to try and make that dream a reality. And I started at ODOT, Department of Transportation, worked there for about 2 years, and then moved to Department of Education. And I was on their government relations team under Jessica Ventura, who is now the director of the Office of Immigrant and Refugee Advancement. And it was really, I think, Jessica's teaching around anti-racism, bringing Ibram X. Kendi's words into the space, dismantling the systems of policies and power, and finding fault in the policies and the systems, not in the people. That kind of changed my perspective and made me want to get more involved. I think I've always been service-forward, service-minded. I've been always in a nonprofit, always helping with Girl Scouts, volunteering with youth. But this felt more tangible, that I could actually make specific changes. And my next boss, Zoe Larmer, which is really funny because Jessica and Zoe are married, so I got to work for both of the people in the household.
Let's go. We're not going to pit them against each other by saying which one.
I know.
The people can wonder on their own.
But Zoe really encouraged me to, if I wanted to learn more about how the system worked, I had to be in the system. So she encouraged me to interview with Rep. Wynn, and I got the job, and I have to tell you, that was the hardest 6 months of my life. I took a $1,000 pay cut. I was rarely home. It was 7 to 7, 7 days a week for 6 months. Long session is just kind of like that. But I wasn't expecting that going into it. Also, I got called the N-word. Also, there isn't any structure in the building for, there is an HR department, but it's not an HR department for each of the 90 offices. It's an HR department for the building as a whole. So it's very dependent on your chief of staff, the rep, to make a culture that is welcoming. And that is really challenging in this building. But we passed bills that have changed lives, like the walking school bus bill, the student success plan for Native, Hawaiian, and Alaska Native students. And these are things that I didn't think that I could even be a part of. And what was really interesting is we passed some of those student success plans, and then I went back to ODE and I was tasked to implement some of the bills. So I really got to see the process full circle. And yeah. What was your second part of the question? Where do I go from here?
You're good. Because there was a lot of setup, right? There was a lot of different steps. So that's fair. The second part of the question was just asking where does the path lead from here, or what do you have your eye on for the future? Yeah,
it's funny, as chiefs of staff, we all try to collaborate and talk about our processes and procedures and be better chiefs of staff all the time. And there isn't really a next step after chief of staff. You make this decision, do I want to run for position?
That was what I was going to answer.
Or do I become a policy director at a nonprofit? Many nonprofits are really wonderful and do a lot of work, but that's also a really challenging position. Especially when you maybe have some failures and have to go back and talk to this group, this community that you really care about, and kind of explain this legislative process to them. It's definitely a long game. It's a 7 to 10 year game to get anything done. So yeah, what is next for me? I will share with you that I actually do not have my bachelor's degree.
You did all the A's.
It's possible.
Different paths, but you still own one for real.
Well, what I will say is that on paper, I have, 12 years of experience in work like this, but because I don't have my degree, I got passed up for managerial positions. HRs just need to have the paperwork. And so I am currently taking night classes at OSU, College of Liberal Arts. Thank you. And if I get that degree, then there's a whole other slew of options that open up for me.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, that's Congrats on that. I'm so glad you're taking classes.
Thank you.
It's hard.
impressive.
I mean, school it's expensive now. And I think a lot of people like younger like than me who have like given up on even like attempting to go to college because they're like, oh, well, they say you need a master's now or a doctorate to get anywhere. And then it's like, okay, the student loans you'll have after and all of this stuff. And at least you're again, like you said, you already have like that lengthy 12, years worth of experience. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of younger kids are actually lacking is the experience towards that stuff. But that's so exciting.
And they do this, it's kind of a mixed bag, right? You can go in with all the education and they'll be like, where's your experience? Or vice versa. They'll be like, where's your experience? You got all the experience. Where's your degree?
Exactly.
Right? So yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Because like I said, you're making impacts and you're chipping away
doing
at
great
it.
things. Oh, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. Oh, I can't wait to see what you do in the next couple of years.
Thank you.
Like, that's amazing. Because I could never get into, like, I have too much of a mouth and I don't know how to control it. And so I would it would be bad.
There's some ones out there. There's some ones out there who have that same skill set.
I don't want to fight somebody though. Like that's.
I think there's some ones out there who have that same skill set.
Like, can I do that?
Yeah.
Am I the next?
I think oh wow. No. Okay, don't start with this.
Me?
Okay, let me hand it off so you can ask the next question. I'm wondering one that kind of flows, I think, in the course of the conversation.
Absolutely. So kind of one of the next questions kind of, ingrained with what we've been talking about is how your identity and culture has like shaped your path. Like you said, you're a transplant, you're not from Oregon like originally, kind of how you, have gone along, like kind of your upbringing and kind of how you grew up and stuff and how that's impacted where you're at today.
So I am the eldest of 3 kids. My father's Black from Southside Chicago, and my mother is white from. Are you from Chicago?
For anybody who is listening, there was I clutched my pearls. Okay, that's the best thing that I can do to describe it because yes, I am from Chicago. So hey, let's go.
I mean, my dad has stories of like throwing desks out second-story windows.
Oh my God!
Running away from school, getting expelled 4 times. Like he just had a hard upbringing. He actually, through all that, graduated at 16 from high school and packed his car and drove out really wild here to Oregon, to Corvallis, and went to OSU for 2 years.
Okay.
Sorry, we could go back, but even more wild. He like has this other story where he like would go up to Mary's Peak to like find solace, if you will, and that's where my husband proposed to me. Like, did not plan that. Wild.
The thing is, we do love.
Yeah, we do love. We some suckers for love.
Oh my goodness.
That's okay. So yeah, you told us a little bit about, I guess, your dad's background and kind of going, because I thought you said L.A. and Hermosa Beach. I think was the name of it. So, but you kind of got this. You have Oregon as a point of reference. So yeah, what was that path like? What was growing up like for you? I'm assuming in LA area. Yeah. And then coming up here.
Hermosa is a 1 square mile town that is very affluent. And it's right next to Manhattan. It's right on the beach. So I grew up like as a junior lifeguard. I grew up surfing. I was definitely the only Black person in my 100 person K through 8 class. Like we stayed together the whole 8 year, K through 8. And then our town is so small that it doesn't have a high school. So you have to go to either Manhattan Beach or Redondo Beach. And Manhattan Beach is definitely predominantly white, very affluent. I mean, the Fanoi Moanas, if you know them, are AVP and Olympic gold medalist volleyball folks. They went there. Redondo is a more diverse campus. It's also like a 2,500 student body, so it's much bigger. I chose Redondo. My sister and brother chose Maricosta. That kind of plays into maybe like our family dynamic a little bit. There's definitely like rivalry at home. My mother being from like Maysville, Oklahoma, which is a small 400 person town. She's very Christian, conservative, and very like minds her P's and Q's. She's very polite and very quiet. And so the fact that she got together with my dad is just what happened. But they were working together and he pulled some moves. So there we are.
Love this some hot stuff.
But what was hard though is when he came down to LA, he felt like to survive, he had to assimilate. And so he denied his culture, denied his blackness. He was definitely self-hating. And that played up into our upbringing, especially being the eldest of three, having a lot of pressure on my shoulders. He also is a computer programmer, so he fell victim to 2001 Y2K to 2003. There was something else that happened where like AOL and Google laid off 500 people. So we lost the house. So we lost cars. He had repos happening. He began to drink. He got very aggressive. So from like 11 to on, my home life was very violent. And that led me into like couch surfing. Like I wasn't actually a McKinney-Vento student, but I understand that perspective because I was never wanted to be home. That also led me into, enlisting in the Navy because I was in poverty, because they offered socialism, because they offer, 3 hots and a cot. So, and I was really smart, so I did really well in my ASVAB. So I had like a slew of things to pick from, and I chose a nuclear engineer. So I was an electrician's mate when I was in the Navy, and I went to Charleston for my A school. And then I had also applied for this scholarship, a ROTC scholarship, and I didn't get in the first year, got in the second year. So all of a sudden I have this full ride scholarship to Florida A&M University, an HBCU in Tallahassee, Florida. And it meant that I had to separate from the military and go to college. And at that time, I think mentally I was not very disciplined, and I needed to be enlisted to have some kind of like routine and safety and security. And so even though it seemed like the right idea to take this scholarship, and I did, looking back, it might not have been the right idea. So when I went to college, man, I had a lot of fun that first year. Definitely didn't go to many of my classes. And failed out my first year and had to repay the scholarship back. So now I'm $35,000 in debt, a couple of classes under my belt, and I'm stuck in Tallahassee, Florida. And if you've ever been to Florida, that part of Tallahassee, especially around FAMU, is very black. And that was my first like time being in black culture, black community. I was called a snow bunny.
With the background of surfing and stuff.
So as a biracial person, I've just navigated these two worlds, I think, forever. I'm too light skinned to be in the black community and too dark to be in the white community, or to really feel like I fit in. And I got in some trouble in Florida and went back home and was then a 24-year-old at home with my parents, which also didn't feel good. But then that was like the wake-up call. That was the like, I got to get it together. Like, let's go. I can do better. And so then LA Consulting. So then moving out, and then moving up here to Oregon.
Girl, journey it is.
The journey.
Crazy.
You've lived a life. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing, it has all brought you back here. And again, the stuff that you're doing now, like all the stuff that you've endured and gone through has led you to this position. Like you wouldn't be the person you are today, obviously, without going through all of that. Like you learned a lot and you're able to implement it today. Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
I'm interested to know more about like that connection to black community, right? Like you talked about that experience being at FAMU and it being like that first
that was hard
experience for you being in a super duper black environment. And I've been in super duper black communities and even as a younger person being on the side of policing other people, right? So like what did that do to you? Like how was that experience then, and then how has that kind of changed who you are to now?
I think if I had felt more welcome, I might have done better in school. I think because I didn't feel welcome, I really lashed out, tried everything else. I think when I moved up here to Oregon, I was in a better headspace and was able to be more intentional about choosing my community. My family were now like estranged also, so I actually don't talk to my parents or my siblings at all. They came to our wedding, and that was like the last time we had communication really. So choosing community, choosing my family has been something that has been this like passion project that I didn't do very well at first, and now I've gotten a lot better about it. And participating in Black Joy actually was my hairstylist's idea. My hairstylist, Kat Amos, painted curly down here somewhere, was hearing me. I like cried in her chair. I was telling her my story, and as we all do with our hairstylists, and she was like, "Oh, I know the person you need to talk to. You need to reach out to Julie Ray Joy." And Julie Ray has a text from me in 2019 when I first moved here that she was an SEIU organizer, and she still has this text, and she she did something with it, but then I kind of moved on and moved in other spaces, so it's wild that we even came back to each other. But Brown Girl Rise is a nonprofit in Northeast Portland who support the global majority, specifically non-binary femme-presenting youth 7 to 17, and create a space where they can connect to their ancestors and their community and have that safe space to grow as young women of color. And so I participated with them for a year or so, almost 2 years, and that was like an eye-opening for me. That was like, this is what I'm meant to do. My story resonates with so many people. I think there's a lot of mixed kids that don't know where they belong, and the fact they also don't know that they can choose where they want to belong. And I think that was something that I was able to do eventually, was say, okay, I'm going to surround myself intentionally with people that are connected to culture, that want the same thing. And that's the community that I've built here in Salem, I think. Continue to build.
I'm slowly seeing kind of that rise, especially with that very young, like high school generation of them. It's sad to see, especially in our community. It's like they're struggling with like kind of figuring that out of like, okay, like, you know, I can become community, like, okay, be with like a group of kids and who don't look like me, do not care that like they could put you like in harm's way or anything else, or aren't aware like, hey, that, you know, yes, I'm a person, but there's certain things that I'm not going to be doing, that people are going to see me differently than you because of it. And it's honestly just really sad to see kind of some of those when it comes to it and like how they're acting. It's like, okay, they're choosing to choose the popularity and hanging out with all the people instead of being like, okay, let me find my actual community. Yeah, like I was talking to a friend and that's what her daughter was doing. And it was just like, you are going the wrong direction. Like you're a gorgeous young woman and you are just like, you're going the wrong way. Like you really are.
I think it is a very interesting concept because I'm a parent. I got 2 kiddos at home, and it is an interesting concept coming to terms with the idea that no matter what you do, you cannot recreate or create even an experience, whether it's one that you've had or one that you want for your children. It will not, it may not land. You can try your best to try to set them up and give them access to all this stuff, or tell them, hey, you know, connect with these people and not those people, all that sort of stuff. It's really hard to do as a parent. And I know that young people struggle to just figure out where they belong in general, and then that is overloaded even more based on the diversity within yourself, right? How many other identities do you hold, or are you exploring or trying to figure out, and all that sort of stuff. And so I get it, right? Sometimes choosing, but sometimes it's experimenting, testing, trying to figure out where you fit and all that sort of stuff. And maybe just like Oregon is one of those places, and based on your background, right? Talking about where you grew up, where you came up, where you're living in an environment that is different from a lot of other places, right? So trying to balance that out, right? You're in a different environment from your dad's environment back in Southside Chicago. You're different from FAMU, different from Hermosa Beach, right? And so is this other new, different kind of community. So yeah, how do we figure out how to reach those folks?
I mean, that's true. I mean, you can touch base a little bit on Black Joy and kind of the events that are coming up. And I know I'm super excited whenever you made the Facebook page for Black Salem, Oregon. If you want to touch base on those a little bit and kind of how you are kind of interacting and spreading activities and like family-friendly, family-oriented activities, and even specifically adult, you know, activities, and kind of what's happening in Salem.
Yes. So when I was being intentional about choosing community and my hairstylist told me about Black Joy at a later time, I started reaching out to them just as they opened the farm. I was their first volunteer, and in fact, I was early, and I was like waiting at the fence, waiting for them to like open the lock. Like I was so excited. And Shay comes in and she drove up, and that was the first time I'd ever met Shay in person, but we had like texted. And the farm has just been such a healing place. I mean, if you're a gardener at home, just getting your hands dirty, just kind of being out there is healing. And also when you're out there in community with, surrounded by not just women, but also like women of color who, to like share our stories. I mean, we've cried out there. We've like held each other really. And our first year we harvested 1,500 pounds and we delivered it to the door of Black and brown families in Salem. And this last year, Julie Ray and our team has been working on a lot of grant writing. And so we got a grant from Oregon Health Authority to deliver hydroponic towers. We just recently completed delivering 87 hydroponic towers.
That's so exciting.
Because, you know, some folks have transportation access issues. They can't come out to the farm. They also are on stamps and have to go to Food for Less and just do not have access to fresh organic produce that they can choose. So that was really important. Black Joy also does a harvest festival each year that's new, and that is just for our community. So it's word of mouth and RSVP only, but it's going to be beautiful. We're going to have an aerial demonstration this year, which is, I think, something that our community doesn't always have, like spaces to do that freely or like even just access to it, I guess. And then we're going to have face painting and pumpkin painting and a costume contest and food and drinks. What's new this year too is we're going to have vendor booths around. So we're partnering with folks in the community, Willamette Health Council, Marion County or Marion Polk Food Share. They're going to have tables there. HIV Alliance. Also, this other one I'm really excited about is Kin Cultivate. They're out of Albany and Corvallis, and they work with youth and they do classes about Black history and Black culture, but not just for the Black community. They encourage other people from other communities to be there so that our Black youth can be in a space with other people and be talked about positively and hear their culture and hear other people reacting to their history and their culture and feel seen. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to partner with her. I'm so excited.
That's exciting. I want to go to that.
Yeah.
I was like, Kin Cultivate sound really familiar. I was like, I know I've seen some stuff about it online.
Wow, so impressed.
That's dope. That's dope.
And Black Salem, Oregon, the Facebook group now has almost 80 members in it, which I know there's more people in Salem, so sign up.
Yes.
But I think that gives us it's private group. You have to be accepted by myself to get into it. You have to answer questions, all the things. But I think it gives us a space to share like the events that are happening in Salem that are specific to our culture. Like DJ George is on there all the time. Funky Beats Initiative, FBI is on there all the time. And then also like Be Black is on there and sharing these resources. We've got Flourish Braids in there sharing, you know, Ola's new book and African cooking classes. I mean, when you first moved to Salem, did you even know that you could do all this stuff? Like,
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I remember the first week I saw one like melanated person and I was like,
let me clutch onto you.
are you real?
Don't leave me.
Be my friend.
Take me with you. Honestly, it really helps because it does help kind of get that message out of like, hey, there is stuff going on. There is stuff, you know, happening. And just to keep spreading the word about events and stuff that are going on.
It is a interesting concept, this community. I want to get your take, your perspective on the community, right? Like, what are things that you value about living here? You've been to some different places and lived in different places, experienced some different places in different communities and cultures and stuff like that. And what are your thoughts, having lived here for a couple of years now? Like, what are some things that you like and what are some things that you find challenging about the community? And that can be generally speaking, but also, you know, talking about Black, you know what I'm talking about too. And specifically your mixed heritage.
I think in Salem, I have found a lot of people who have really good intentions. And your intention is not your impact, and you have to sidestep your ego to and care about your impact on others to even recognize that while you might have good intentions, you might be causing harm. And I think specifically in Salem, in our Black community, there have been relationships that came together to do a really good thing, and something happened and that relationship was broken, and now they will not work with each other at all. And, you know, I see that mirrored in so many different relationships between so many different people across Salem in different spaces. And I wonder if there is a way that we could find repair or restoration. I talked about earlier, like being estranged from my family. So I'm actually not good at that either. I don't know if anyone is really great at being hurt and having that conversation with that person and that person being able to receive it and repair. It's challenging.
That is the biggest thing. I mean, for me personally, it's been a whirlwind being here in Oregon and then trying to dive deep into like the Black community that's here. And there's definitely a difference between, or they make sure you know that it's a difference of like, okay, you're an Oregonian, like you're a Black Salem like native, and then you're a transplant, and even age-wise, the older generation. Or
you feel like there's kind of a boundary almost?
I do feel like there's a little bit of like some tension like between that, because I do think it is very one of like, I have dealt with of, you know, some pushback of like, hey, you know, let's try and change things up a little bit. Like, hey, what we've been doing the past 10 years, we do need to like update or, you know, and trying to slowly and not completely be like, hey, let's completely do this new thing. But I do think it is very hard because you have to go through all these doors to get like either approval or the blessing or anything to even like get that nod of approval, I think, from the older generation a little bit.
Let's talk about Christian nationalism in the Black community.
Yes.
If you don't go to church, how are you connected to community?
Yeah, it is. That's a true thing.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I recently was just saying this to myself. I was like, do I need to go back to church? Yeah. Like, and specifically keeping that piece of it in mind. Like, I know I'm connected in different ways to our community, but I'm like, I feel like there's stuff missing. You know what I mean? And that continuity isn't intact somehow, some way. And I don't necessarily want to get in there and drink the Kool-Aid. No shade to anybody. No shade to anybody. I respect, everybody's ability to, go forth in the way that they would like, as long as it's not causing harm to other people. But and there's a certain connection that I have to it, right? And let me not steal spotlight, but the one thing that I would mention is that when I'm feeling sad, when I'm feeling upset about stuff, I listen to gospel music. Yeah. I might not never listen to it any other time, but I'm like, it speaks to me in a way that's like spiritual, ancestral almost, that I'm like, okay, I can feel comforted and held in that. And so
we created gospel. Gospel is our culture.
Talk to me about you just mentioned. Talk to us about, you said Christian nationalism in our culture. How is that showing up? How have you seen that locally?
I have seen that locally because if I went to church, then I would be able to have more members in Black Salem, Oregon. Then more Black folks would know about Black Joy's events. There are people maybe that go to church that don't come to our events because we're not a religious organization or we're not based in Christian values or something like that. We take everybody. You can be atheist, LGBTQ, bodily able, differently abled, and we will accept you and we have places for you. And we have not found that same opening arms, I think, from our churches in Salem.
Across the board.
Black churches.
Not saying that those folks or those entities don't exist, but largely the experience has not been
welcoming.
Well, I think it's Black culture. I mean, unfortunately, just in general, it's just I think there's some things that we haven't gotten past or evolved to some degree of saying like, hey, it's great to still have a lot of the culture that we brought with us, but some things that we do have to evolve and kind of grow and mature from. And I think I see it a lot more in Salem because of how much of a smaller town it is.
Sure.
And instead of like me coming from like Houston and Austin, there's so many people like, if like, hey, like you don't want to change your ways, you don't want to do it, cool. There's a billion other people in the area who like I can go hang out with who are more accepting.
I mean, also historically in the South, if we talk about Salem as transients, you came here for a job or you came here for school, you came from some other place that had this big Black culture, and it was mainly in the church. And I think maybe that's trying to be created here. It's definitely here. Like we definitely have that. But if you are not religious, then you miss that piece.
Yeah.
And that's really the challenge, I think.
And that's the thing, like it shouldn't be that way. I mean, and part of why like we, I think, started this and why you've done what you've done is to kind of break those barriers. And I'm hoping, obviously, like over the years and stuff, that it's not so separated, because there are only so many of us in Salem.
So many.
Like that's the thing, there really is, and it's
People
like
keep coming in.
they are, they're
trickle.
here, but it's really one of those like it's sad to see like that being a barrier from us really all like uniting and being on the same page when it comes to some stuff. Even going like, I know I've talked to you about it, Sarah, where it's just like, okay, there's some things just, again, sometimes the older generation, I'm like, just let go a little bit. And then that's not even just in the Black community, that's just overall. But, you know, when it comes to it, it's just like, hey, let go and let us lead. There is another level of like Black leaders coming up, and we need to see them thrive, and we need to be supporting them in like several different ways. And what I'm seeing now is like, they're trying to come up, and then it's like, they don't want to let go, and so they start doing other stuff. But hopefully, we can come to some joy. I'm like,
joy.
please.
I was. What do we do? What do we do? This is if you want to go straight to camera.
I know. Would you like to be?
How do we fix it?
Wait, what is it?
Tell us. Show us the way. What ideas do you have? Like, obviously, you're not sitting back and waiting for it to come to you. Right?
Yeah.
You're actively doing things, but how? And you've had conversations with folks about how to respond to pushback and like distance or gaps and boundaries being enforced and all that sort of stuff. So how do we respond to it? What are some things that come up?
At Black Joy, we changed our hours from 8 to 12 to 12 to 4 to accommodate the church-going community so that they could do both, go to church and come to the farm. I think it's all about the people. It's all about your relationships with people. And so what I'm personally doing, and what I encourage you to do, is to be intentional about your relationships and to cultivate those relationships. You know, call someone that you haven't called in a while. Reach out to someone, bring them in. And we talk about this as a women's group in Black Joy all the time, is that, the grass is greener where you water it. You have to water where you're standing. You have to invest in the community where we are. If you didn't find community here, so you are going to uproot your family and move to Beaverton, maybe that effort that you would put into that move could be better spent in building more relationships and finding community spaces that you could be a part of. Absolutely. I mean, Be Black has a monthly coffee
Thursday monthly
event.
Coffee.
We have a end of the month Sunday cookout. These are spaces that maybe are small right now, but I think if we do want to cultivate this culture in Salem and this community, that those are the spaces we need to lift up, build up.
Absolutely.
I think I'd like to shout out Nikita Vincent.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's doing some big things at Marva.
Cultural Harvest Collective. She went to the data. She said, okay, Western Oregon University, you have over 50% or 46% people of color in your community going to your school. We're going to create a BIPOC market right here because the people will come. She created it, and man, people came.
Absolutely.
That thing is live. I don't know if you've all ever been on a Sunday, but man, it is so much fun. And now she's got the CSA program where she's also bringing fresh organic produce to the people. And we are not in competition. We are doing this collectively together, lifting each other up, sharing resources. I mean, Kin Cultivate in Albany, Corvallis, lifting them up. Brown Girl Rise in Northeast Portland, lifting them up. And if we could have this network, I think Black Portland does it all right. They do it great for Portland. Adrienne Wright does a really good job having this, app on your phone that you can find Black businesses. we need that for Salem.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, until we get it, let's just be the people who are the connectors.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's amazing.
I like that. Snaps.
And we hope to have Nikita and Julie Ray, all of them on here.
You better.
You've been summoned. Your name has come up. And I'm assuming maybe it's like a genie kind of thing or something. Some kind of magic happens and then you come to the pod. That would be great.
That's exciting. Well, overall, kind of, we have like a couple more questions. Like, how do you feel about the future of like the Willamette Valley and Oregon in general, with obviously all the things that you're doing, the stuff that you're seeing kind of happening? Like, what excites you the most?
Oh, I'm so excited about the future of Willamette Valley, specifically because of your podcast. I think this is going to be a great connector. So thank you very much for creating this space.
You're welcome.
I mean, honestly, we haven't had anything like this. So this is really exciting. I volunteer with Salem-Keizer School District and do a lot with their theater programs. And just the youth that we have coming through are mind-blowing. I mean, they are going to change the world. So I think by creating the spaces that we're creating now, by repairing the relationships, we're almost making this foundation for them to step right into and to make their own, but also for them to want to stay here in Salem and not feel the need to go to other places that have a bigger community.
Stay here in Salem, make it bigger so we can push out the boundary and build more houses and sell more houses.
That wasn't so specific at all. So we can build more houses. And then, look, on the video, we're going to have like the little thing pop up.
Sell more houses, Haven Rose Real Estate.
No, but it's the thing. And look, you already know where my passion lies. But no, it's true. I want people to stay here, build a community. Really, and look, equity. Fair.
The thing about, the boundaries, or maybe there being a divide between our elders or folks who are, I guess, native Black Oregonians or whatever. I haven't gotten that sense as specifically to the native Black Oregonians versus me being a transplant. I've definitely still felt that connection of, oh, what's up? There's been moments where I haven't been able to like put my finger on what there might have been as in terms of an interaction, where because of my background coming from Chicago and being in different places and meeting people from other largely Black communities, there's a nod, right? Like just the acknowledgement of your existence kind of thing that's like, hey, you don't not do this.
Yeah.
And I definitely have had some of those, so maybe that's where it is, but I just haven't been able to.
I think it's something like that. It's more so if you bring up that you're from somewhere bigger and somewhere that, the Black community and Black culture is a lot more saturated and it's a lot more obvious. And you bring that up as a comparison to be like, hey, like, this is what we did here. It would be great to try and implement it in Salem, in Keizer. I think it's almost like just an automatic, it's not like horribly like defensive or anything, but it's a little bit of like, well, like we're doing good. Like, and I think they find it more so like insulting, I guess, of like that they haven't done enough or done anything, instead of taking it like, hey, you've done great. Like you've built all this stuff. I want to help. I want to like make this a bigger thing. Here are some ideas from other places, instead of taking it as like, absolutely, let's like figure this out. Let's join it. I think it's almost taken as like
competition.
Yeah.
They feel like we are competing with them, not that we are seeing a gap.
Right.
And maybe also what I found is that they feel like they've tried something already and it didn't work. So why would you try anything ever again?
Exactly.
And that is maybe a philosophy that I just don't believe in. Like, if we try and we fail, man, we learned something, didn't we?
Right.
Let's try again.
Exactly.
Let's do it differently.
Let's change one thing and try again.
Dust yourself off and try again. Shout out to Aaliyah. I couldn't wait and hold that. I couldn't hold the quote to the end of the episode.
No, that's going to be the quote for that. You have to end it on a quote every single time.
Dust yourself off and try again. I wanted to highlight, because of this part of the conversation, let me say this. We are hypothesizing. We are deducing. We are reaching and trying to figure it out, but we want to hear from folks who are native Black Oregonians or who grew up here, who have roots, who who are deeper than ours, right? To talk to us about, if you have a perspective from the other side of the aisle that says, that explains some of those feelings that are coming up, or some of why this might be perceived from us as like a boundary being upheld or something like that. Because at the end of the day, all of us, and I feel like a bunch of y'all, right, want to come together. So we're just trying to figure out what hurdles we need to get over, what hoops we need to move through to remove to get out of the way of us actually having a community with each other. Not a community like anywhere else, a community like the one that we have here, that we want here.
I think you also have to meet people where they're at.
Yeah.
And when you talk to when I've seen other instances happen where somebody will talk to someone and they're not meeting the criteria that they want, so they move right past them. And instead of like still saying, okay, I want to keep this connection with you and I'm going to work with you until you get to the place that I was expecting you to be at, so that we can partner. And that's something that's also been really challenging, is just maybe the especially with my background, convincing them that I am the right person for this job, or that I can be there to help, or that I have something to offer. I shouldn't have to convince anybody as a community, because we are lacking. We should just be holding each other like so close, especially with, oh my gosh, everything that's happening nationally, abroad. If we don't come together in the community, we're going to lose ourselves.
Yeah, I think, like you just said, it's like this is a critical time kind of right now. And I'm like, we should be coming together and being like, how really can we be supporting each other? What can we do? This isn't the time to critique and lash out and do that. I'm like, people are here. People want to support. And, how can we do that? I mean, that's part of why we started this, was how we can support other businesses, other melanated folks that are out there, how we can support your businesses, what you're doing, get you more traffic. I mean, that's the whole goal.
Competition is definitely, when you use the word competition, I feel like that resonated a little bit. And I don't have a sense for feeling like I'm in competition, because I feel like there's room enough for all of us to eat, right? Like there's space for all of us here, that we are pushed this narrative, this idea of like this scarcity of sorts, right? But if we continue to work together, we come together, that we can defeat the scarcity, right? We can provide and produce more together. That we just have to kind of get away from fear a little bit, a lot of fear kind of being pushed out and all that sort of stuff. And if we can overcome that a little bit and just reach your hand, come on, hold my hand, baby. I feel like we get a long way.
Absolutely.
Okay, one of the last ones. Do we have any other questions? Where are we on time?
Ray had the thing. I wasn't paying attention.
Look, when did we actually start? Okay. If you could be an animal, what would you be?
This is this question?
No, this is just a
I was like, that came out of left field. I don't know.
Guys, folks, people.
I didn't know we were like
this is not on the
going
sheet.
on.
This wasn't on the outline.
I know, we were just talking about something really, I was trying to line it up.
I'm like, this is what happens when Ray's not here. We really, when he's not telling us to shut up.
I know. He's not. Oh, Papa Ray.
Shout out to Papa Ray.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, I have to tell you.
Oh, God. Oh, okay. See, look, this is us also. There's been a lot of time.
We miss you, Ray. She was so much.
I love
this. He listened to some of the stuff whenever he couldn't hear us.
Yeah. I do have a legitimate question that's not on the list, because I didn't know anything really about you, right? Our research department is took the week off. So anyway, we're improving on our research. You know what I'm saying? Our methods and all that sort of stuff. But meeting you and seeing you in person, you have locks.
I do.
Tell me, would you share about your lock story? Like, what motivated you to start? How long you've been doing it? All that sort of stuff. Because I also have locks. For the folks who are just listening, we both have locks in our hair. Okay. So would you share that with us?
Jasmine Kelly-Field is a dear friend of mine.
Oh, Jasmine.
Love Jasmine.
We love Jasmine.
We need her on the podcast too.
Yes, we do.
Shout out to Kelly Field.
Kelly Field Lawn Care and more.
I know.
They have a business. Let's go.
Yes. Information will be below.
Oh my gosh. Well, curly cuts were the thing that I used to do. So there's a picture right before I had my locks of my hair where I just did the big chop. And so I have a little fro for a little while. And I loved that. It was easy to take care of, and braids are hard to do every 3 months. They're also expensive. So an install of locks for me meant taking my really, really short hair, and we tried for like 4 months to lock my short hair. I think because I'm mixed and my hair's thinner and like, I don't know, lighter, whatever, it didn't really like lock that well. So we had to add hair. So this is added hair. But at the same time, I in that beginning phase, that 2 to 3 months where it was really frizzy, where it wasn't locking, I had to just still go out as chief of staff. And what that means is being on camera. That means giving speeches. That means meeting with elected officials statewide. And even though I was like, my heart is racing, I feel hot, I'm nervous, how are people going to receive me with this frizz, was really like a self-healing moment, I'd say. When I was younger, I talked a little bit about my white mom always being like very polite and wanting to like fit in and very status quo. Every single photo of me under 18 is my hair slicked back in a ponytail, in a bun, little ballet bun. And I never wore it down ever in front of anyone. Because I was told it's too big, it's too frizzy, or it's too out there. And so that this lock journey for me, even though it's not all mine, it has like really just like healed something in little Sarah. Thank you. It's all mine. Thank you.
It's yours.
But I feel beautiful. I love having this hairstyle. I love the easy maintenance of it. I love it when other people have locks and we can like share this, and this is us, this is our hair. Jasmine also just does a really wonderful job about like talking to you while you're in her chair and like making you feel like this is a journey that you can be on for as long as you want, and your hair tells your story. And so it's been a really beautiful experience, and thank you for asking.
That's lovely. I love that. I love that. Snaps. And everybody's journey is their own, right? Like specifically with the locks, I mean, obviously it applies to a lot of things in life, but I remember when I first started mine and I started seeing people out in the world, I felt like I started seeing them more, even though they were already there, right? But I would like go up to them and be like, hey, da da da, and a lot of the feedback that I got was just that the journey was very much my own. And so we appreciate you sharing that with us.
Thank you.
For sure. And I'm snapped. So I'm kind of snapped. I'm like, because this is all yours.
Thank you.
Anybody who's wondering if this is on the radio or on the video, any hair that is on anybody who got it, that's their hair.
Correct.
Don't ask no questions.
Preach.
Don't try to check nobody on nothing. That's not your business.
Close the door.
Okay?
And
keep your business your business. You know what I'm talking about?
Goodness
gracious.
I think here, Oregon is definitely a different, like when it comes to hair and all of that, because I know I've had to style my hair different ways. One, with just dealing with the weather, and then two, I know I had a hard time my first couple of years where it was like, okay, like the first job I had, I came in with like big box braids, and that's not what I interviewed in. And I remember they were like, oh, and I'm like, if you say anything about it or say I have to take it down, I was like, we're about to have some issues. Because it is.
The Crown Act.
Exactly.
We are protected.
Yeah. Oh, it was definitely a big thing because she was just like, oh, like this, it wasn't like that when we, and I'm like, but this is how it is. Like, here we go.
Or just being confused about how your hair can do lots of different things.
I'm like, it's all
People
mine.
haven't recognized me.
It's honestly crazy. Well, there was one because it was like, okay, straightened hair, and then if it's just curly, and I just like, I just let it out and let it do its thing. And I'm like, yeah, like we also can grow hair. Like we can get length. That's just part of it. I'm like, shrink is a thing. Like,
But when people are like, have I met you before? And I'm like, yes, you did. I had a different hairstyle. And
yeah,
I remember you.
times,
a different person.
Yeah, I will remember this too.
Is it better or worse than being called somebody else's name? Have you had that? and be like, hey, da-da-da. Oh my gosh, I've gone at the gym a couple of times and
Really?
I'm like, nope.
You said that's not.
I don't know. I feel
That's not me. And we look different. I'm not gonna say the person's name. I'm not gonna say the person's name. Shout out to the homie. That's the person. But like, specifically that other person, I'm like, the difference in our height, the difference in our bone structure, the difference in our facial hair, the difference in our hair length. There are numerous things that would set us apart
it's always
from each
like
other.
the details. They're not, yeah.
And yeah.
And honestly, it's people are peopling.
Yeah, people are people. You're right.
When it comes
We are
to
not all the same.
No.
We are not the same. But yeah, I don't want that to be a cause to be like, we're not the same. Get over there. We were just talking about boundaries.
Also, yeah.
Stay on your side.
No, it's definitely look.
I thought about when we were having that conversation, and you mentioned, Allie, you mentioned something about not lashing out at each other.
Yeah.
And I wanted to just speak on like accountability. There definitely needs to be accountability.
Yes.
Right? Like you don't get passes to just say, oh, okay, you're part of the community, slap on the wrist, or oh, okay, sweep stuff on the rug, because that is very much a part of kind of some older Black history kind of stuff, to not talk about the harm, the problems, the issues, the concerns, the conflict, all that sort of stuff. So people do need to be held accountable. I want to highlight that part. And also there's still work to do beyond that. So like, and relationship that might be possible, right? Depending on what those transgressions are, we are still trying to build community and still trying to sustain a community.
Well, sorry, go ahead, Sarah. No, you're good.
I touched on it a little bit earlier, but the policing each other part too.
Yes.
The like putting each other down if they like don't meet our expectations at that moment. You know, there was an incident where somebody in our community reported someone else to like the DOJ. And that's almost like using the system against us. That is not helpful when we are trying to build this community here. That system isn't made for us. That system is made to harm all of us. If you wanted to have a conversation with that person and say, hey, these are the things I'm seeing that are missing and that don't sit right with me. How can we together move forward and repair this? That would have been such a different outcome and such a better choice than now I'm just gonna sick DOJ on these people.
Right, that's intense.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Or find a different mediating party that's not set up in a way that's
and that
from
kind
a
of
system
harm,
that's caused that level of harm.
That's
So
detrimental.
from
That's
that?
detrimental.
that's tough.
Well, even on that, like, again, kind of the policing and all of that, like, I've gotten it several times, even from when I was in Texas and Austin, and even up here, where it's like, oh, like the revoking of the Black card. It's like, I'm not Black enough to be in the Black community because I speak the way that I do, because I approach stuff probably a little differently. And that's because of how my parents raised me in a very specific way. They wanted us to be, I mean, very specific. I mean, they were like, okay, you're going to enunciate, you're going to do all these things. And coming into the Black community, it's like, well, are you like Black enough to be? And it's like, I go through the same things that you go through. I deal with the same things you deal with. And I feel like that is also a thing though too. And I feel like it's a little bit more up here in Oregon than even like in the South. But it's like, yeah, if you're not Black enough, or if you're not doing these, if you're not going to the church, if you're not doing all this stuff, like you don't really count.
Yeah.
The lack of culture that was taken from us too. I have this like weird envy and jealous of like African people coming over and bringing that beautiful culture here. And then like making homes here and having all that culture, and I don't even know what that culture is. So like I'm intentional now about immersing myself in spaces with those people so I can learn, because I want to be a part of that. But that's another like just another challenge that I think we experience when we are trying to communicate with each other and we don't have the same vocabulary. And there's this othering, if you will, because you know, maybe you are Black enough, but you're not African. You don't have culture.
No,
you're African American
that right now.
So I got responses for both of y'all, because one, we were having the conversation we had. We were checking in about some stuff, some podcast related stuff before we got on, and we have to also check ourselves. We all have work to do individually.
Yes.
Still, to figure out how we are going about putting up borders, boundaries, whatever, to be like, I don't know, maybe should it, da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
So like, there's room for us too. So I'm gonna say that part.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the second part is, shout out to you for exploring cultures, African cultures, and histories and all that sort of stuff. I commend you on doing it, and we should all be doing more of that. But also, this country is based in our culture. We're just told that it's not ours.
Yeah.
It is. There are mirror images, echoes, reflections of our culture everywhere, everywhere, and it's so normalized, and we're told that it's not ours, that we get to the place where we start to believe that. So I don't want, you know what I mean? Like, I want to make sure folks who are listening, watching, and in this room, y'all understand, like, yeah, our culture is still out there. We just have to reclaim the parts that are, have been kind of picked away from us a little bit. And I think one of those ways, right? It's not the way, it's not the only way. It's a way that you can kind of connect back with that, is doing natural hair journey, right? And doing locks and stuff like that. And I feel very much like I take my culture everywhere I go. It does not matter if I'm in a room with, somebody who's got a super platinum, quote unquote, black card or whatever. Ain't nobody taking mine away from me. You get what I'm saying? And it's not my job to try to check or pull somebody else's away from them. Right.
I mean, it does more harm than good, and I don't know how people don't see that when they're trying to do that. But absolutely, with everything you said, and there's also programs and stuff that's happening at like the Oregon Black Pioneers.
Yes.
We're pulling, the amazing stuff that they're doing, and even shout out to the Salem Art Association over at Bush Park in Salem. They do amazing. They did a whole exhibit where they had someone, Jeremy Okai Davis, come and do big portraits of Black Salem pioneers in the area. And they did an amazing job. Like, they had a whole team that went and dug up information. Even one of the people, I always forget her name, but her journey was incredible. But they actually found her family and people who were living on the land that she purchased and brought them in, and they had a whole display. And again, when they revealed her portrait, they had them there, and it was just like, you could just feel it in the room where it was just like, this is she's here, she's literally here.
Wow.
And they did it so they pulled them and they had them at the Bush House. And so Steve Bush, one of the first mayor, I believe, of Salem, horrible racist, horrible person. And so they did it there. Out. Yeah, not out. But he was he did some really horrible things, here, but they did it in Bush House. And you could just feel it, where it was just one of those, even that Salem Art Association, they were very specific about doing it in that house to basically kind of reclaim it. And it was just an amazing, what they did. So stuff is absolutely happening currently, and different programs and different exhibits and what they're doing right now. So shout out to the Oregon Black Pioneers. You guys are doing amazing stuff. Hope to have one of you guys on here.
Come on the show.
Yes, and the Salem Art Association. Again, they just had their art fair, where they have artists of everyone and all kinds out there.
Yeah. Amazing.
But they're doing amazing things as well.
Let's go.
So, education, go listen, go read. They're doing great stuff.
There's this book that keeps coming up in my mind. It's called A More Beautiful and Terrible History by Jean Theo Harris. And that one just talks about how the media and the narrative have twisted our stories so that what's written in history and what is taught is not the same as what actually happened. Yeah. And I think even A Grandma's Hands is also another book that just, you can, if you're just beginning your journey maybe and you don't know where to start, those are two books that really kind of empower you. And I think for me, we're a healing part to say you can do this. It's okay. You are Black enough to say that you want to have this culture and be intentional about choosing the pieces that fit and resonate with you. So
and I always would kind of emphasize this. I know within the Black community, it's always been that yes, in general, our history, it's a little murky on and what we're able to find out and stuff like that, but being intentional about your own personal history. My mom, so she's a twin, and they were very intentional the past couple of years.
New news.
I know. But the thing is, it's both of them, and they're very similar, obviously. But it's one of those, they were very intentional about finding out like where our family actually is from. And like so we have a family reunion like every couple of years, and each time they put up more pictures and more information about relatives of ours. So we've found long lost relatives in like California, or a couple in Wisconsin. Like they're out there, and we have a big family already, but it's crazy because we're reaching out to these people and we're like, we think you're part, like, hey,
I love that.
Like, and so it's one of those things that's amazing, but like, it is hard. It's a lot of work, but like, about finding out really like, hey, where's your like lineage from? Like finding out, I would love to be able to say like, no, I know I'm from here because my great so-and-so came from here. You know, a lot of, white culture, they know exactly where they're from. And it's like, would be great for, I guess, more families to be a little bit more intentional when it came to that.
Oh boy.
And you can reclaim you're from here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Because you talk about Ibram X. Kendi, and I'm like, talking about stolen histories and all that sort of stuff. Like, we're walking through the world feeling like we are untethered from where our beginning was, right? Our beginning is in enslavement. No, our beginning is in the creation of this new country, and lots of terrible things and ways that happened, and lots of ways that our people have had to overcome. But all of how we have survived, us being here, the miracle of us existing in this present moment is like the beauty that's come from those things. And yes, it goes beyond, right, that divide, that transcontinental divide, to say, yes, our roots are there as well, to that entire continent of Africa. And also this culture here, right? And also all the things that we do. When you eat certain foods and you're like, ooh, this is hidden, you like, you can find some semblance of that exact same activity to our ancestors.
1000%.
I'm telling you.
So there's two things that come to mind. One is like we were intentional, or Julie Ray was intentional about the food that we plant at the farm, and we have like black-eyed peas and okra and collards, and not because like we love those a lot. I mean, we do, but also because they are significant for our culture and not available everywhere, especially here in Oregon.
They're not there.
Nope. And the second thing that came to mind was Senator Lou Frederick is state senator of House District 22, and I'm just getting to know him a little bit more, but he was at the Freedom to Read event, Senate Bill 1098, which is the ban on book bans. So no school district in Oregon can ban a book that talks about our culture or diversity or LGBTQ any longer. It's not allowed. And he led that movement, and a lot of bit of his story is he has these pictures and things of his family being sharecroppers, and you could see him in the picture being 2 or 3 years old, and the fact that he was able to go from that to being a state senator, he has an amazing story. And he also talks about this little town in Wallowa County, I think it's Maxwell, and it was an all black loggers town. And that's like history about Oregon that maybe I definitely didn't know, and that is just so fascinating, especially with our exclusion laws historically here, that they were brave enough to be able to do that and be successful at it. And there's now a memorial there, like Joseph has grown, it's bigger, Maxwell's kind of gone, Logan's not in, but like, man, to just know that information, I think is really beautiful.
That's super dope.
It just pushes you. I don't know, like that inspires me, where it's just like, okay, cool. Like the stuff I'm going through is nothing. Like I can get further. I can do more. What else do I need to do?
Yes.
Like, I will not be running for politics, but
you never know. This could be the debut. If so, this is the first time y'all hearing it.
Absolutely. Delete all the footage. Everything.
That will canvas for you so hard.
But no, it's just I think that is, again, when it comes to history, like all of us saying it. And then I loved your comment earlier where it was just like, even just like focusing like on your hair. And because I remember when I went natural, and it was right when I went to college, because I did a big chop, because I was like, I'm going to focus on track and studies, and I don't care about boy. Like I was like, whatever it looked like after I chopped it, I was like, it doesn't matter. It was still cute. But
she thought she was still cute.
I was cute. I had a little short, little cut. But it was just one of those, like, I remember, because I was like using all these other products, and I was just like, why is my hair not doing what it's supposed to, what I want it to do? And that's when I really started like deep diving into stuff where it's like, okay, what should I be like? How should I be moisturizing it? How should I be conditioning it? Like, even still to this, still learning about it, where it's just like, okay, as I'm getting older, my hair is changing, but also like, what's other ways for me to take care of? Almost got sister locks for a split second. Almost.
There's still time.
It was very close.
I didn't start these till I was 30.
It was very close. We'll see.
There's still time.
I know.
Jasmine's
They're just so cute. But
hey, this might be first time here. Hey, lock drain.
No, it is a thing. It really, because I remember even like, because I would call my mom and be like, what did you do before like I relaxed my hair? And that's the whole other thing of why
Fox
I even
perms.
did it.
The olive oil, that was my go-to.
Oh, that
the way I have fried my scalp.
Ew. I remember it'd be like,
put the perm down, y'all.
Don't do
please
it.
don't. Yeah,
put
just
the perm
don't do
down
it.
for the babies, maybe.
Please,
you know what I mean? Just
please.
like with the babies, it start real young and stuff like that. Give them an opportunity to maybe decide something for themselves. That's just my 2 cents.
It is.
Please, we don't want any hate mail at WBP. If so, send it all to Allie. Okay.
Don't
please.
address me.
Send it all. Matter of fact, send it all to Ray.
Send it to Ray. Yes, send it to Ray.
Any slander to the podcast, please send it to Ray.
But no, it really was like a thing, because I remember, and I would talk to her, and she was like, well, no, this is like what I did. And she would send photos, and like when my grandmother did my hair, and then when my dad tried to do my hair, like it was just a real like moment again of like family history, really finding out some stuff, and but really like how like our follicles work and what we respond to. And it's just been interesting. Again, we kind of, deep dive and do some research and really finding out. It opens a whole different world.
Has to be such a challenging job because, I mean, growing up in like America as a Black person, the parents almost have, like, you're automatically layered on with shame and guilt just for existing.
Yeah.
And as a parent, you almost have to like maybe peel back those layers with your children and almost empower them to forgive themselves for that shame and guilt, or release it so that they can become who they're meant to become. I think that is something my parents did not do for me. And so as you're talking about this hair journey, Allie, I'm just hearing things that I experienced also, and there was a lot of shame in the big chop, in the perm, and them not being able to do it right, or not knowing how to condition my hair, slicking it back in a bun because I just can't do it. And I, not through anyone else's, but my therapist have been able to release that. But man, as a parent though, that has got to be challenging.
I will say that the whole entire journey is trying to figure out how little control you actually have, right? And just, you always really want to be hyper focused on trying to control and trying to do all these things. And you just kind of are there to help be guardrails and then help them learn some stuff here and there and try to impart some wisdom here and there. Like the interesting thing for me is just remembering what it must have been like for my mom, right? And being like, oh wow, like being like, dang, when I'm trying to have even something similar. If I'm trying to impart something similar to my kids or something like that, and I'm like, damn, this must be
flashback.
And my kids are not nearly as like hard headed and all that sort of. I'm like, not yet. Anyway, we'll see. As I was when I was coming up, but yeah, it can be challenging. The other part of releasing the control is recognizing like, oh, am I putting on them stuff that is specific to me, or things that I feel like I had to deal with because of my own journey that maybe they don't have to in the same way, and trying to navigate that with things like therapy and trying to figure out, okay, what am I bringing into it that maybe I don't need to, or how can I approach this in a way that's not like laying it all in their lap. You know what I mean?
Your intention's great. What is your impact?
Right. Without being like, oh, be afraid of the world necessarily. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's an interesting dynamic. It's hard as hell.
I'm like, as a whole person, it's like, I know I was not the easiest. Like, my parents were just up here this past weekend.
Oh, really?
And stop.
This is super strange. Didn't see him. It's crazy.
Look,
here on the pod.
I'm saving you from my mother.
No. I'm sure she's great. maybe next time, y'all.
You just shout out Gloria.
Shout out Gloria.
But no, it definitely, there were certain things that happened, and I was like, oh, am I my mother?
Oh,
Which is the best way. Like, I love her to death. But it was still things that she would bring up, or we were like reminiscing and stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I know I remember my thought process when I was young and doing, like, I know what I'm doing and I'm 14. I had no idea.
Anything.
Nothing.
But we thought we knew everything.
Nothing. I thought I was like, how could you tell me I had no idea what I was doing. And I know now, like in my 30s, is I think a lot more apologies where it's like, I am so sorry that I was difficult. Like, I tried to run away. And I was like, this was when I was like, really, I think I was like 8.
The super young running away is shout out to all the kids. All right, kids, please be safe. Please be safe. I did one of those too. It's the dumbest thing ever. Especially when you're super young and you really don't know where you're going. Please don't do it.
Look,
please don't do it.
She said
sleep on the slide.
And she said I was in pajamas, walked out with a Barbie suitcase, had something in it. And I think I got into an argument with my sister or something. And I was like, I'm done.
I'm leaving. I'm moving out of this warm, safe home.
Not the
with my Barbie suitcase.
I'm leaving.
Caution to the wind.
I'm the streets. Do I know how to get out of the neighborhood? No, but I'll figure it out.
Like, I'm not even sure if I remember my lefts from my rights.
I had one sock on. Like my mom said, okay, we'll see you later.
Shout out to the world for allowing you to survive.
Yeah.
I didn't make it out the door.
No, okay.
I didn't make it out the door.
No, hey, me and my brother did one of them, and we took the train by ourselves. We were young. Yeah. We hopped on the train. Yeah, we got discipline. But yeah, we were way too young to be just going and getting on public transportation by ourselves.
Sir.
But we did, and some adults probably should have been like, "Hey man, what are you doing?"
Honestly, you don't touch the
Not my business. Whoever those people were, hey man, that's messed up.
No, but I definitely again, I don't have children or anything, but could definitely the way of being a parent and all of that. And I do like your approach or hearing it where it's just like, yeah, you don't have any, they're going to do what they do. And I like the guardrails kind of approach.
It's hard. I'm saying it from a place that is
this week was good.
Much more enlightening than the moments that actually come up where I'm like, so it's hard to do.
Yeah.
But I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure it out. You know,
it's a whole person.
Yeah, it's a whole person. It's a whole person. But it's like interacting with anybody in the world, or any. So like, I would liken it to the care that you would try to show for anybody else's kid. Okay. Right. Yeah. And so and wanting them to be okay. Yeah. Regardless of whatever goes on, it's just the responsibility is like solely yours. Yeah. Solely yours, and the other people who are responsible for it solely take responsibility. But like that approach, you would care if a kid I'm running away from home in a Barbie suitcase. You'd be like, hey, whose child is this?
Yes. Yeah. I get that, but it's not mine, but someone's. Here you go. No.
I think I might be more of a dog person.
I love my dog.
Yeah, she might be one of those.
She's my little fur baby.
We're not gonna get into it right now.
Shout out Waffles, I love you.
Some of y'all dog people.
One of the policies we're working on right now is childcare. We were trying to follow New Mexico and bring universal childcare to Oregon. It's a very North Star. We've got a long way to go. Yeah. But one of my favorite auntie duties is watching the babies.
They're adorable. They really why are you looking at me?
You were talking, so I looked at you.
I think that's where I think I would get nervous to even have them a little bit, is because they are big responsibility. That is a person.
Oh wait, did you grow up with kids in your family?
Yes, I have 2 younger brothers and cousins.
How much older? But what I'm saying is what was the difference?
My youngest brother is 4 years younger than me.
Did you grow up with children? I was an
babies?
uncle. I was an uncle by the time I turned 8.
No, that was just family and friends and stuff. I holding a brand new baby. I'm gonna.
Yeah, you get more used to it. I think if you are around babies more and exposed. My younger sisters also Well, so I was an uncle by the time I turned 7, and then my youngest sister is actually 8 years younger than me. So our oldest niece is a year older than my youngest sister. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, but it's been baby.
Oh, you've been
baby central. Yeah.
No, I have no, like, even when it comes to that, like one of my really best friends. I met her when she was pregnant. And so when she had her daughter, she's basically like my goddaughter, but she's like the sweetest thing. But I remember I was coming over because I was like, let me help you clean up. Like, let me cook. Like, how can I help you? And she said, here, just take her. I said, ugh.
No. I meant more like behind the scenes. I meant,
No.
Like, you take the baby and I can do everything else while you focus on the baby.
Other than that, no, it's really been...
Oh, that's
like
funny.
Holding the baby all weird.
I think I'm good after a certain age. Like, I'll babysit and do all that stuff when they can, like, walk.
No. What is this?
Before that, I'm like, you don't do anything.
You just mostly make sure their neck is okay. You know what I'm saying?
Give them lots of kisses.
They're going to throw up a lot. You know what I mean? Probably poop a lot. I'm a little nervous about the poops. I haven't dealt with the baby poops in a long time. And I wouldn't say I have a sour stomach or a soft stomach by any means, but like if it was baby boo boo, baby boo boo, like if it was a poop up the back kind of situation, I'm like, just can't you just like take the stuff off the baby, hose the baby off a little bit, not like with a real powerful hose or anything like that.
If it's up the back, we're going to the bath,
and then just ball all that stuff up and throw it away.
Throw the whole thing.
No,
so if they have like an explosion, like in the car seat, you throw the whole car seat away.
Right. Like come on,
car's gone.
The whole car away. You think you're gonna get the smell of that garbage out of the car?
It's embedded, especially if it's not.
You gonna get in it
every time.
This is why we have leather seats.
That's the one thing. If it's not, it's embedded in them. Like,
no. I'm gonna get a little. Let's change the subject. I know we have at least one more legitimate question.
No, we honestly got through all of them. The last one was just going to be like, what's one like phrase, song, or quote that you would love to leave the audience with before we wrap up?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes. What's giving? Oh wait, are you still in this one? Wait, what podcast does that? What song is giving you life this week? Shout out to whatever podcast it is. We not biting, but we just trying to.
No, that's why I was like,
you've already shared book recommendations, which are dope.
Yeah, just a favorite something like just
And okay, we have at least one more legitimate question that we're gonna do as well, but we have to get it because it's the ones that Ray recorded. Remember, he sent us a thing.
I told you I didn't pull those up. It wouldn't let me get into the Riverside.
No.
Yeah.
Ray,
help us.
Come back.
I thought you looked at it.
No, well, because all my stuff is connected right in through here. This is how we're using this technology, so I can't mess with it.
Hold on.
And I wish I had it on here. I'll try to see if I can get it on the tablet, but
hold on.
I know. Well, I can summarize part of one of the questions because Ray is very much into leadership, right? His whole deal is leadership, trying to coach folks, trying to help folks to improve and to better themselves. And I think one of the things that he wanted to pick your brain about has something to do with what is some wisdom you have in terms of leadership that you could share with kind of our viewing audience and listening audience, especially from the side of like government, right? Like that's leadership, that's big L leadership. And so he was kind of wondering what are some things that you can share with folks about leadership from your experience working within government?
I have like 3 things that come to mind.
Let's go.
Nobody knows what they're doing.
Okay.
Get out of your own way. And I think be a connector. I think those are the 3 things that if you can operate that way in this space, specifically in government, in local government, city, county, in the state government, in Oregon, I think you will be successful at whatever you try to do. And the get out of your own way is you may come into, specifically state government in a state representative's office and have this policy or this idea, this thing that you're gonna, enact as a law, and it's gonna change the world, it's gonna change people's lives, but you haven't thought about like all the barriers and all the people that you need to talk to, and also unintended impacts too. And there have been times where some people have said, I don't care about any of that. I'm going to push forward anyways. Yeah. And then program implementation on the backside has to fix it, or they can't implement the program at all. Yeah. So that's the get out of your own way. I think that nobody knows what they're doing is like, there's no one way to do any of this work, any of this policy development. Community engagement is really important, and how you go about community engagement or listening to community voice can look like listening sessions or a town hall or one-on-one conversations. And as long as you're engaged in that and you have an open conversation, open dialogue with the people that you're serving, then you can't go wrong. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Solid.
I have his.
You got his thing?
I have both of them.
Okay, so hold on. Okay, so this is what we're gonna. Hold on. You got it.
I was just seeing which one it was, but I don't know.
So look, so we're gonna hand this off to you.
Oh, okay.
And you and just click play. And
this might
and
be
then we might splice it in on the video and all that sort of stuff. And
that was my goal was to splice it in.
That was the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah, thank you so much for coming to the block. Really excited to have you share your wisdom and knowledge to the community at the Willamette Valley. Sorry for not being here personally, but the question I do have for you is, what are some of the things you're learning being a chief of staff or Oregon State rep, and what's some wisdoms and knowledge that you could share to us in our community?
Okay. So that's one of the questions. Yeah. So you kind of touched on it. Would you add anything else to that one? What was the name?
Up here, second tab.
I think I guess not. I don't know. What's coming to mind is like some people really like stay on their side of the aisle, and that is, I don't know. It puts you in a corner, and your opportunities and options to like actually make change and do what you came there to do like diminish. So we're only there for a short time. A term is 2 years. It's 1 6-month session and 1 35-day session. And if you don't get anything done in the 6-month session, you're not going to get anything done in the 35-day session. Yeah. In fact, I'm drafting policy right now that won't even be heard until February. But I've got to work on it now because we've got to give it the time to, go through all the hoops and loops and make sure that this is packaged in such a way that it will work and will have the intended impacts that we want. So I think, if you come in with these like preconceived notions of like how you expect it to go, that will burden you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said don't put yourself. That put you in the corner. I was gonna say nobody puts baby in the corner. I'm just full of quotes and references. Okay, so there's one more question. Yeah.
All right, so we back. Another question I have for you about the Oregon State Legislature is, how can we engage and encourage the next generation to be a part of the similar work that you're doing? How do we get the next generation involved in the politics? Let me know your thoughts.
Yeah. Well, firstly, I'd like to say we are hoping to bring back youth vote because a lot of our youth, especially in the high school ages, like 13 to 18, are heavily involved in their student government, in their city and county government. I mean, we had Danny Moran is one of the first Multnomah, I think ESD elected positions, and in Lane County we had another youth who's under 18 run for an elected position. Jorge Bautista is a City of Portland elected position. So they're really setting the stage, I think, for youth to come into this. Multnomah Youth Commission is really wonderful. In Salem, we have a group who I'm forgetting the name of, but they bring youth and youth of color to the Capitol to do Advocacy Day, to talk to their reps. I think just exposure is really important. And then having representation in the building, I think, even if they just see us and they don't like have a conversation with us, just seeing us in that building is means that they can also be there.
Right. Right.
Awesome.
You're showing them, you're role modeling, even when you're not thinking of it in the front of your mind. Your presence is very, very important. So, yeah, I like that. Okay. I remembered the part about engaging with the youth, and that so. Hey, see, shout out to Ray. We got you in there. We got you in there, my boy. Hey, we didn't forget about you, dog.
You're here with us.
Hey, I can't even call her Young Scooter no more. You know
I'm not on the scooter no more.
Dang, she retired the scooter.
I'm on one crutch.
Crutchy? I don't. Okay, let me stop. Let me stop. I'm sorry. Okay, so was there anything else that you wanted to share with us, that you wanted to share with our audience, obviously our parents who listen to this?
Love that. Love that. There are two people who are very close to me who are doing wonderful things in our community who I did not shout out yet. So I'd like to give them a shout out.
Absolutely.
And I did remember my advice for the end. But Keisha with Sovereignty Bites is a new catering company, and she's a really fantastic chef who maybe doesn't have the culinary background that you might expect from, a budding caterer, but wow, her values and beliefs and what she's doing in Sovereignty Bites and, food sovereignty and bringing that culture to the community, I think is really beautiful. And the second one is Javon Deese with I Support It. And his story is just really dynamic in that he experienced houselessness at one time in his life and now wants to give back. So he has this clothing brand, I Support It, and he donates 15% to the houseless. And he has been such a big supporter of Black Joy and coming all the way down from Vancouver just to support our community and be a part of it because he believes in the mission. So
that's amazing. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, we love you, Javon and Keisha.
Let's go. Good shout outs.
Come on the podcast.
Yeah, come on the podcast.
They would love to.
Yeah, Vancouver, Washington, you're a little far out there for Willamette block party, but
it's still
you a friend of the pod. He does you know what I mean? Friend of a friend of the pod. You know what I'm talking about? So hey,
yes,
come on
and
friends. So I think we good. Want to share that?
Last question.
Yes. Oh wait, we got one more.
No, that was the one I asked beforehand.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
I'm ready.
We're doing it.
Oh my gosh, this is live. This is real. This is how it is.
Let's go. We out here.
Okay, yeah, last piece is like what piece of like either advice, a favorite song, quote, book that you would like to share with the audience.
I think it's going to be advice because when you all gave me the questions, it is very hard to like talk about yourself, I think. And I have so many pieces in my story that I actually haven't even shared yet that really impacted how I move through the world. But some of them are really painful. And so I think my piece of advice is that you are enough and your story matters, even the painful parts. Especially the painful parts, because someone is listening who also went through that, and your story might be the story that motivates them to grow and become the difference in their life that they wanted to be.
That got me.
I love that. I love that. She did, and you did exactly what you needed to do. You looked right down into your camera. Thank you so much.
I felt that in my soul. I was like,
she did. When I watch it back, I might be sitting there like,
that was like, I am enough.
Was it? You're enough. The kids do this nowadays.
Oh wow! Hey, you don't want no smoke? I was even in the last episode with the video. I was like, I do this all the time. This means I love you in sign language, guys. So please don't get it twisted.
Oh yeah, this is heart. I love you.
It's like,
we're not gangbanging over here.
No,
we don't want no smoke with nobody.
No smoke.
We'll definitely have to have you back on again. I mean, you're great. We would love to kind of get more in depth. Yeah. A whole run around.
So of course you're welcome back. You let us know. All the people that she shouted out, that you shouted out.
Every single one of them.
Time to come on the podcast.
You're on the hook. You're on the hook. So come on through.
Yeah, this is exciting. Well, thank you. Oh, what?
Oh no, I was gonna say, did you have any words of wisdom that you wanted to share?
Oh my gosh, no. Do I? I don't know. Like the big thing that we kind of talked about was just like the community really coming together, and I love like the quote that you've been saying, which is like you can only like water your own space, water your own pasture, and I think that's really hit home. That's I think what I've tried to implement kind of here, but I would love to see. I mean, the more the merrier. Like, I would love to see other organizations and other groups and other spaces kind of open up. Yeah. Like, do it. There's enough space and support. I would love to see that happen. So that's kind of my part. I love that quote, and I would love to see more of it here in the Willamette Valley.
Yeah. I second that emotion.
Yeah.
If at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. That's my word of wisdom. That's what I got. I had it earlier. I did an early drop. I just brought it back. So that's what I got. So please continue thanking our guests and signing us off, because I am unreliable.
Thank you again for coming on. We so appreciate you. We're going to definitely have to have you back again, especially like he said that you've been our first guest. Yeah. So we'll have to get you back around.
Thank you.
And you guys, hopefully everybody that was mentioned today, come reach out, sign up. We would love to have you on the podcast. And we'll see you guys next time.
Until next time, we out here. Peace. Peace. Don't.
Just put hands down.
Okay, let me set this down. Oh, my legs.
Yay! Great job, everybody.